talk about staying whole in a hustle world, y'all. Let's give it up for Miss Natalie. Woo! Wow. And thank you, Mr. Crump. Mr. Crump was putting the screws to me last night, y'all. He said, you better show up, girl. I'm betting on you. And then Trish said, I put the pressure on you, girl. I said, okay, you just breathe, right? You just breathe. Have you ever found yourself doing everything right, and somehow it never seemed to be enough? I have. And sometimes the hardest thing is to recognize that the one exhausting herself to succeed is quietly disappearing in the process. Hello, I am Anna J., known as the Voice of Serenity, because as someone who spent decades speaking life and encouragement into other people's dreams, I finally acknowledged that my voice matters and my story deserves to be heard.
Yes. Right. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Crump, for allowing me to share my voice at our REIGN's 7th anniversary celebration. I count it an honor to come before my family today. For years, I've spoken life into women through ministry, prayer, guided meditations, empowerment conversations, community leadership, and walking alongside women through real life. Some know me as minister, the speaker of life and encourager of God's people. Some know me as a confidence-boosting diva, inspiring women to step into their greatness. Others know me simply as the woman who speaks peace into the womb. Speaking peace into the room. I've done a lot of things in my life. I have served people, I've created things, I've worked long hours, and I've given deeply. But not everything I did produced the results that I expected. In fact, some of the things I worked the hardest for did not produce the results that I envisioned that they would. And I know I'm not the only person in this room who knows what that feels like. I have spent years working, creating, giving, sewing, doing everything I knew to do. And yet, in moments of quiet reflection, I wondered, why is it never enough? Not enough progress, not enough recognition, not enough tangible results, just not enough. Just not enough. And while I was smiling on the outside, I was shrinking on the inside. I was shrinking because of fear. F-E-A-R. False evidence appearing real. I was shrinking because of comparison, wondering if I truly was worthy. I was shrinking because of small results. And my bank account didn't mind reminding me of that, y'all. And I was shrinking because I thought I was being humble. But that was a lie. I was hiding behind a facade of false humility, hiding my voice, hiding my confidence, hiding the value that I carry. Because somewhere along the journey, I began to measure my value by my results instead of my identity. Maybe you found yourself there, or somehow you forgot the power of being a child of the Most High God, fearfully and wonderfully made. Or maybe you got caught up in the lies that whisper, you're not enough. Your voice doesn't matter. And who do you think you are anyway? Sometimes life brings you to the place I call the valley of regrets and what ifs. That place where you either continue to stand or you fold your hand. I'm not much of a card player, so folding my hand didn't really resonate with me. But continuing to stand, that was the challenge. And it was there, in the valley of regrets and what ifs, that something began to stir inside of me. And I recognized that the power was so intense, I had no option except to change. Sometimes pain can be the very thing that pushes you to FEAR. Face everything and rise. And while you're in that valley, there will always be someone who will see potential in you that you didn't recognize. Someone who will believe enough in you to remind you who you are. Over the years, people have said to me, Anna J., when you speak, I feel seen. And my favorite, you teach people to breathe again. Or what about, you speak life into the room. And so for years, I continued to encourage everybody else to rise while ignoring myself, abandoning myself. I've heard it said, when the student is ready, the teacher will arrive. And when I was ready, I realized something powerful. I have a voice that matters. And I carry something that other people are searching for. I had to stop diminishing what God had put in me. Not because it wasn't real, but because I was waiting for validation. I've heard Mr. Crump say so many times, there are people ordained to stand with you. And I believe that. I believe it. Breathe, y'all, breathe. When I was a senior in high school, I told my mother, I'm going to quit school, I'm going to get a job, and help support our family. My daddy wasn't in the home at that time, and that extra money, that would have been a blessing. But my mother believed in me. Mother believed in me. And she refused to let me quit. Well, I graduated salutatorian of my class, and I received grants that paid for the 4-year undergraduate study I did at the University of Denver. I didn't graduate with student debt. I was blessed because my mother believed in me. She believed in me. And I prevailed. And the lesson I learned is that I already have everything inside of me that's required to succeed. And so do you. But walking that truth out in your life can be a process. But you don't have to wait decades to realize that. And so the question becomes, the question becomes, will you honor what God has put in you? Will you? Will you honor the meaning attached to your name? Will you honor the purpose attached to your life? Will you honor the responsibility attached to your gifts? Because as long as you continue to shrink, you are not honoring, you're dishonoring what God has put in you. For years I thought I had to continue to just pour into everybody first. Because I felt like I had to keep giving, I had to keep sacrificing, I had to keep exalting myself, because to do otherwise was to be selfish. I want to say this. When you find yourself in the valley of regrets and what ifs, it's very important that you put your own oxygen mask on first. Not because you're selfish, but because you cannot empower and inspire anyone else if you can't breathe. That's why wholeness is important. That's why peace is important. That's why your identity is important. And there I was in that valley. There I was in that valley, and I thought I had to keep pouring into everybody else, because it would be selfish if I didn't. But I want y'all to know that when you're pouring from an empty cup, nobody ever receives the fullness of the value that you possess. And when you're the coffee in the cup, come on, y'all, it's hard to see beyond the walls that surround you. And like I said, that's why you need to put your own oxygen mask on first. Take care of you. Stop shrinking. You already have things that God has given you, beautiful gifts, talents, and abilities. What you gonna do with them? What you gonna do with them? Let's stop shrinking. Stop waiting for validation. Stop asking for permission to be who God called you to be. Stop hiding your gifts behind fear. You can make that decision. You can decide to rise up today. You can decide to not operate in F-E-A-R. You can decide to operate in the F-E-A-R that says face everything and rise. That is a choice that you can make. You don't have to wait decades to do that. You don't. I want you to know tomorrow's not promised to you. At 77, I realize, y'all, tomorrow is not promised, right? It's not, but what you have is this moment, this breath. Breathe, y'all, breathe. You have this breath. You have this opportunity. You have this calling. So use what God has given you for his glory. Use it to build a legacy that lives beyond you. Legacy is not built at the end of your life. You don't have to wait till the end of your life to build a legacy. No, legacy is built now, every day. In every moment, in the encouragement that you speak, in the lives that you impact, and the courage you show when you decide to stop shrinking. You may never know the full impact your life has on someone else. That's why wholeness is important. You may never know that. But there's someone out there. What you hold, someone out there, that may be the very thing that they're praying for. Somebody's praying for what you got, for what God put in you. Receive that. Receive that. Because it's such a blessing to know that God sowed something in you. One divine design. One extraordinary assignment. And one voice like nobody else lives inside of you. What you gonna do with it? What you gonna do with it? The question is, what are you gonna do with it? That is your choice. I just want you to know that as long as you have breath, as long as you have breath, there will be more goals to pursue. There will be more people to encourage. There will be more purpose to uncover. There will be more hope to hold on to. As long as you have breath, remember that. Remember that. Tomorrow's not promised. And while you're building, remember to live. Smell the flowers along the journey. Because your reward is not just in the destination. It's in who you become along the way.
Amen to that.
It's who you become along the way. Be encouraged to know that God has given you something that's unique and special for you. Because he loves you that kind of way. He's empowered you for greatness. But it's your decision to receive it. So as you're going through life and building what you're building, remember to live. Remember to live in every moment. That's why wholeness is so important. That's why your identity is so important. There's nobody else like you. Remember to breathe, to pause. Remember to grasp it. Protect your identity. If you truly desire to stay whole in a hustle world, you got to be intentional about protecting your identity, protecting your peace, and living in every moment to the fullest. So if what I've said has been an encouragement to you, if you feel like it's time to stop shrinking, I would like to offer you my free gift. It's called Reboot Your Life. It's a place to begin, a place to pause and to breathe, to reconnect with who you really are. Thank you, and be blessed in this glorious day.
Was it just me, or was this young lady's voice so soothing, relaxing? And I thought I was in the spa for a minute, man. I'm like, Anna, they need to play Anna J on the loudspeaker when I go get my massages. Awesome job. You know, what was important, what I got out of what she did, I don't know if you all paid attention, was the intangibles.
Yes.
Right? Because we're all running with success. You know, you don't take time to breathe. You don't take time to take it all in. Reboot, you know, your mental health, all of those things. So that's very, very important, Anna, in terms of the intangibles and everything that takes place. So let's give her another hand, y'all. With that beautiful voice.